breaking the rocks at your gold, maybe. Start producing investors now. That's your main focus. So the minerals,
what should I do with all the minerals?
Yeah, the minerals. Once you start producing investors, you're making drones, you're making hatcheries, and you can make spine crawlers if you want. But we want as many investors as we can early on, like as many as we're gonna need.
We require more Vespine gas.
So you can drop a fourth as well. You see him moving out, so just pull back to your choke. You seem to have more roaches in him, just based off the plain sight. You want to spread out your roaches so that you don't get caught, all of them caught in one fungal. Once your infestors are out, you can probably push.
We require more Vespine gas.
I like to drop spore crawlers as well, in case they're burrowing something or shit like that. Just at every base.
We require more Vespine.
Oh, look behind your base. So you're gonna have to remake those drones. That's fun. It's not a big a deal. It's not as big of a deal as it seems, because again, gas matters more than minerals. So we're just droning up. We need to take those gases at your new base right away. You need to make infestors or hydras, but we're just making drones, infestors, hydras, like mainly spending all your gas and all the extra money that you have are just drones. If you could reposition your spike rollers to cover both your gold and your natural, then you can take your gold as well.
Okay.
So rally all your hatcheries to your third now. Maybe transfer a few drones from your natural, like 5 or 6.
To where?
To your third. And I would place spore crawlers in front, like in the front of every base. Like try and cover, like you saw he was already using infestors to do some infestors. What is that? I can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry. Hey, John, sorry, can you turn that down real quick? He's coming around to attack my back.
Okay, so infestors can rape that. Just good positioning, and just continue to make infestors and drones. Good fungals, and you'll kill his entire army. Be really careful with those infestors. Fungals, don't let them run away. Okay, you can start making hydras now, if you want. You probably have enough infestors that you don't need any more for the rest of the game, so that's good. You can stop, in ZvZ I like to stop at like maybe 8 or so infestors.
Okay.
Unless you're gonna go like harass with infestor drops or stuff like that, or that you're super defensive for whatever reason. I just prefer to have a smaller amount of infestors.
What about roaches? Do I want to make any more roaches right now?
You could make a few more right now, but it's not absolutely necessary. Again, like, oh shit, that was a really good fungal by him. Don't let him fungal. Fuck. So, I'm gonna have to remake this.
Mineral field depleted.
So you need overlords all over the map. That's something that he has that you don't. So he's able to do what he is doing. You can start making hydras. You gotta replace those infestors. It all comes down to fungals still. Oh, look at that. Okay, you need to pull good fungals here if you want to survive. Fungal. Oh, you lost one with 2 fungals there. Okay, you need to spend all your money while this is going on. Otherwise, you're gonna die. Fungal. Okay, so let's remake infestors. We're gonna need those infestors to pop out soon, and oh, he's coming again. Spread your arms. Get in an arc. Don't get all pumped up. Okay, this is gonna be really tough. It's gonna be.
Yeah, I think he's got me.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's go watch that replay really fast.
Okay, cool.
Let's pause it at 0.
Okay.
And
Times 2.
Yeah. Now let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Don't feel bad either. You know, he's masters.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Felt like I did okay.
Yeah, I think you did good. There's just a bunch of things like that come down to mechanics and shit like that you can definitely work on.
Right.
I just want to like go over all the things that you could potentially be doing with this build, like
Okay.
on top of what you were doing already.
Yeah.
The hardest and the scariest part of this build is really the start of the game, like cheese and shit like that.
Right.
So you would have to work a lot on that. And
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
otherwise- Go
what
ahead.
happens on a map where it's like longer scouting positions and you don't scout them right away? Do you still just throw down that 15 hatch blind?
You can. I mean, I do, but I have a lot of confidence in my drone micro and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
So if you don't want to work on that too much, you can just 14 pull. As I was saying, like even like if they go 10 pull or 7 pull,
Uh-huh.
you'll fall behind from this build, but you won't die. You'll fall behind maybe a couple drones.
Okay.
So it's not the biggest deal in the world to me, because it's more of a risk. Like if they're going 10 pull and you're going 14 pull, which is standard, they'll just fall super behind. So it's usually not worth it to go 10
Right.
pull and shit like that and overcommit to it. So yeah, you have to see it. You have to see it from that standpoint. Like some people think more on the side of, yeah, but like what if they're doing this or that? And I'm like, well, if they're doing that, they're probably bad, you know, because they shouldn't do that. It's riskier for them than it is for you.
Right.
So okay, let's see. This is all pretty good so far. Then you
I'm
make
up in
those couple
drones right
things.
now, right?
Yeah, big time. You're way up in drones. So if you could just defend this attack here, you'd be a pretty good spot. You sacrificed one bailing for nothing, and then your other bailing was just sitting there. Even now, you're 6 drones ahead. So if you had pulled that bailing earlier,
Uh-huh.
you know, like even now you're just 1 drone behind. Now you're 3 because he was making drones.
Right.
Now you're like 5 drones behind. But look at the circling count.
Yeah.
Like way ahead. Now these
Right.
3 banelings are about to fuck you over. Like
Yeah.
you have 2 banelings and 14 links against 3 banelings, and it
Right.
will go pretty bad for you. You know, somehow you managed. Yeah.
Yep. I was busy paying attention to that ling I've got at his front.
Yeah. So yeah. So but yeah, like you see, like even though he went for the aggressiveness, like you should have been able to come way on top.
Right. That just came down to bad control.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something that you can fix easily. Like it's you know, as far as there are not, or as long as there are not any fundamental things with the build that make you think, oh, okay, it auto loses to this or that,
Uh-huh.
then you can just work on it as long as you understand it.
Right.
Now your main is undersaturated, your expo is a little bit oversaturated. You're not mining the gas in your main still. So those are all small problems. You were floating like 900 minerals,
Right.
and that's gonna put you a little bit behind.
Now,
So
when
you're
you
making
go
those drones, go ahead.
when you go for saturated, do you mean 16 drones? You usually go for 16 for 8 mineral patches.
Yeah, that's what I usually go for. Sometimes CVC I try to get a few more. Sometimes just like 3 or 4 more per base.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
When you first put guys on the gas, like in this situation that I was in where I didn't have any drones mining gas, would you just have pulled drones off minerals to get on that gas geyser? Would you give up minerals for gas, or would you just make 3 more drones and put them on the gas?
Well, it's easier to just pull the drones that are mining minerals because you're gonna be making drones to saturate the minerals anyways.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's more of a convenience thing. When you need the gas, you need the gas. That's why you're taking the gas. So it's usually better and it's easier as well. So now you're taking your third. Even though you've been falling a little bit behind just because of mechanics, like he's been better at making his drones faster, at spending his money faster, at not getting his supply block. Plus that early thing on, you're still not far behind. And okay, here is one of the things that you can do with this build is what you're doing, what he's doing rather. You know, just harassing and shit like that with infestors. 2 infestors,
yeah.
Also, you can and you should be dropping spore crawlers as long as you're safe. As long as you're just sitting there safe, you're fine. Like once you get like 4 infestors and you're fighting at a choke, it doesn't matter if it's 300 roaches against 100 roaches, because the fungals will kill everything behind anyways.
Right.
Like those other 200 roaches will never get to attack.
Gotcha.
You know? So as long as you have a similar number of infestors and you're staying at chokes like this, then you shouldn't worry too much about the minerals you're floating. So you can drop spore crawlers, more hatcheries, shit like that.
Okay.
Now here it's a little bit of a control misstep. You should have never let any of those roaches run away. Any of them. They should have all died there.
Okay.
And that would have caught you back up again. So there's plenty of opportunities that you could have caught back up in this game. Let's see. Yeah, at this point, like, I would have already started like 2 Evo chambers like a little bit ago.
Okay.
And but again, you're falling behind in fundamental stuff. So it's and this was painful. He just killed so many infestors.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was saying like you need spore crawlers at the entrance of all of your bases. So. Here you would need 2 spore crawlers to make sure that nothing can get past to your gold or to your natural. In that sense, overseers can be a little bit unreliable.
Gotcha.
Like, and also overseers cost gas, where spore crawlers don't. And again, like, you need all the gas that you can get.
Yeah. And from here out, I was just behind.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so this build is pretty much defensive till the very end, till you get to almost 200. And then, I mean, if at any point before that you kill a huge army, you feel like counterattacking, you can. But otherwise, you're just working slowly towards a really good unit composition. And once you get like enough infestors and enough hydras and shit like that, you can move out and try and pick like the spots where you fight. The more choky the spots, the better, because you'll have infestors and you'll have hydras that will be hidden from behind. Just roaches. So you want to try to avoid fighting in wide open spaces. And yeah, this is a really greedy defensive build.
Gotcha. When you are once you start getting hydras, what kind of ratio do you go? Do you go more hydras, more roaches, 50-50?
Definitely more roaches. Hydras are just there for DPS, but they suck shit